Hi everyone, welcome. If you are new here, thank you for joining me today. And if you have been here before, welcome back. I appreciate all of you taking your time and watching this video as I make this beautiful, beautiful folio by Petals and Parchment. Elizabeth decided to share these as a freebie on her Facebook group, and I will link that down below. I will also show you a flip through of the 12-page kit in just a minute, but before we do that, let me show you what this video is all about. I'm making this beautiful journal, or not journal, a folio, and yes, it has so much potential. You can put it together many ways. This is just one example of it. So let's take a look inside. I decided to create a little pocket here. Then we have the second pocket with an envelope. The inside has two of these flippy pockets with journal cards inside both of them. Oh, the colors of blue, it's so beautiful. And then there's the bigger or half-page pocket with another envelope inside it. So I hope you will stick around. Definitely go to Elizabeth's Facebook group to get this material kit for yourself. And let's take a look what the kit includes. After I was cutting, I already did some preparation steps. First of all, I took the cover pieces, the flap and the cover itself, and glued them on some coffee dyed paper to make them a little bit sturdier. The instructions say to print it double-sided, which is perfectly fine. Especially if you want to add it inside your journal, you might not want to add this much bulk in it. However, I wanted my folio to be a standalone project. So I wanted it to be a bit sturdier. That's why I did this decision. I also took my sewing machine and I have sewn around the edges on both of these pieces with some pink thread, which I thought would suit quite nicely. This is again perfectly optional. Also, I decided to leave the threads hanging here. If it's too bohemian for your taste, you can skip this, you can cut the threads. It's your folio, you can do whatever you want to. But this is how I wanted mine to be. Next I'm going to, right, the journal cards. I also backed these with the same coffee dyed paper, so there's that. There is this instruction picture and also the bigger one that comes with the kit. I'm going to follow this until a certain point, but I think I'm going to change this middle piece here because the pockets are like this, they're sideways. If I would put them this way, as I think it's shown in the picture here, the images would be sideways, unless I would like to turn my folio, which I don't want to do. But that's why I think I might have to cut a little bit off from this side, we'll see. But I think they should fit just... we'll see. Let's not worry about that right now. Right now I'm going to get some inking done on these pieces. Also, I'm going to score and fold along these lines. I don't know, you should be able to see. There are two lines here. This is the spine. You should fold on both sides. Same with this. There is a spine here. You should have two fold lines. I will get the inking, scoring, and folding done, and after I'm done with those, I will be back. So, that's me done with this. I also decided to round the corners on the covers and also on the journal cards. Let's put those aside for a minute. Now it's time to put these together. I probably, now that I look at it, should not have rounded these corners, because now it's looking a little bit weird, but that's fine. We will work with what we've got here. I completely went ahead myself, but it'll be fine. There's just going to be a little bit of a notch here and there. So at this point, I figure the best way to ensure, now that my covers on the inside are plain, so the best way to ensure that I would not glue these like this, where one side is upside down and one is the right way around, would be to turn them like this. I'm sorry if you can hear the humming on the background. There's the janitor cutting the grass right now. I know the audacity to come and do some actual work while I craft. It's just horrible, isn't it? So I'm sorry about that if you can hear it. I'm trying to pause the video whenever it gets louder, but right now it should be more on the background, so I'm hoping it's fine. I spreaded some glue, but only on the flap of the hinged, or on the hinge. Let's see. I think I'm going to get some help from my trusted big scoring board to ensure that I get everything lined up. So I'm going to put those against the edge, and now I have to make sure that I don't actually put this top piece on top of the score line or the fold. I want them to be aligned, but I don't want this piece to go over the score line. There we go, right about there. And by taking this scoreboard, I ensure that I get the straight line here. I didn't have to focus whether this piece was lower or higher than this piece. That's why I used a little bit of a shortcut there. But you can... Elizabeth included many lovely, lovely pieces in the kit. There are these beautiful rosy backgrounds, like quilted backgrounds. I think I'm going to use those in the inside, or on the inside. Then there are two lovely ladies and two handsome gentlemen. So decisions. I think this one is pretty much my favorite, but yeah, I'm going to leave her for the front cover. So that's one decision made. Then I think I'm going to put the rosy pieces on the inside, on the both sides, like this. I am, however, going to cut them just a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to follow the stitched lines on the sides here, just because I already did some stitching. Actually, I think I have to go even smaller than that, but anyway, I'm going to cut them just a little bit so that I can actually see the stitching. I don't want to entirely cover that, which is perfectly fine. Then I think I don't think I want the lady in there. I want to use one of these. I think this one. So he is going to be our central image. I'm going to get the pieces cut a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to round some of the corners, following the example from this, background. I think I'm going to actually round everything in the central piece. If I didn't say it so already, I'm going to do some inking. I'm using the vintage photo distress ink, or distress oxide, by the way. If I didn't mention that earlier, I probably didn't. And after I have done that, I'm going to glue these off camera where I have planned them to be. And after I'm done with all of that, I will be back. Actually, a little bit of a correction to what I said. I thought I would round the corners, but now that I look at it, I don't think I will. I think I will leave them sharp, just to do something different. So this is what my inside cover looks like right now. You can barely see the flap because the image covers most of it. There we go. And this is what the outside of the cover looks like. The flap ended up being my front cover for two reasons. Well, not for two reasons, it just happened. You could close the folio like this so that it opens this way. But for some reason, I just wanted to have it this way. Plus, I think the flap was, what's it called? The design on it was really gorgeous. So I wanted to have that as my cover. There we go. And also on the outside, well, you can tell a little bit that there is a hinge, that it's not just all one piece, especially because I rounded that corner and that one too. But it's not too bad, honestly. Then I think we need some sort of closure for this, but I will just skip that part for now. Let's do it later. These images, pretty much all of them, I just glued straight on. But this lady on the inside flap, I decided to make a pocket. So I simply punched with a circle punch so that I could create a thumb notch. And then I spread glue on these three sides. And then I just stuck it on the paper so that it's open in there. it's as simple as that. Next step would be the pockets, I assume. So, I think I'm going to follow the original plan, and I think at least this pocket is actually perfect, even though I cut the papers down a little bit. Let's see. What about this one? This is a little bigger, but I think I can live with that difference. So let's just glue this on. I'm spreading glue once again on all 3 edges. I think this is a little bit, oops, first it wasn't working and then it was working a little bit too well. These are quite sensitive for breaking, these sharp points in here, so I'm just going to make sure that I spread glue enough so that they stay put. There we go. And then I'm going to line it up with my background paper there. Then just give it a good press. It doesn't really matter, it could be a little bit fiddly if I would have put glue only on these sides, but because I decided to glue this whole sharp point down, it shouldn't give me any trouble. Then let's do the same here. Glue on 3 sides. I have previously inked all these pockets so that you don't have to watch me do that. And yay, I even get the tiniest of a border around the pocket. Nothing, oops, sorry for shaking you. Nothing too obvious, but there is a tiny little gap. There we go. Then the flippy pockets, I don't know what to call these, honestly. I have already pre-done 3 of them, and like I assumed, it's a bit of a tight fit. I'm still wondering if I should just cut a little bit off, and I think I will be doing that because, yep, I will do that, but let's put the 4th one together first because I think it's easier to cut them if they are done. So this is what the piece looks like. It has basically 3 of these hinges or flaps. There's the notch, and this piece has them on 2 sides. There we go. So I'm going to press down on these 2 flaps that are on the same piece. There we go. And I'm going to spread glue on both of them. There we go. And then on the second one. The 3rd flap is supposed to stay outside. It does not belong inside this pocket unless you really want it to. Then it could, but in this case I don't think it should be on the inside, so you end up having this little hinge that you can use to press down or glue down the envelope. And I have inked the white edge that I had because I only printed them one-sided, so, or single-sided. So I think actually that I'm going to cut quite a bit off of these, or maybe not. I'm looking to see how much space I would want to leave. It doesn't matter if there's no stitch line here, so I don't have to worry about that. And this one will show once you have these glued and they open like that. So I don't have to worry about that either. What I do have to worry about is the score line or the fold here. I do not want to go over that, and I would prefer to leave some space for it to open and close. I think I'm going to cut 5 millimeters, about 1/4 of an inch off, something like that. And I'm going to do the same for all 4. So that's that done. Then I just have to figure out where I want to put these. I think I'm going to line them up with the background paper. And I think, I don't know, what order do I want to have them in? It doesn't really matter. But I'm also, I don't think I'm going to use them all because, first of all, it adds a lot of bulk if I put them here like this. And second reason for me being hesitant is that I don't know how to actually glue them. Because the problem is if I stack them like this, they would be halfly glued to the paper and halfly glued to themselves. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but the other option would be just, I think that would be fun to put 2 this way and then just, I don't know, it doesn't work like I thought it would. Well, it's not really an issue. I can just pick 2 and use those. I could put 2 like this. I'm just going to go with 2 of these, but decisions. I think I like those 2 the most, so I'm going to put those on. It's going to be like, I think those are called double Dutch doors or something. I don't know. Or a stable door. Not sure. I did some re-inking on these as well, so that's good. There we go. And then let's see where I want to put these. I'll just put one here. You could also add a signature here if you would like to. I'm not going to do that. This is supposed to be just a fun and easy folio tutorial, not, oh, let's go full journal on my audience kind of a video. So there we have it. I think that's fun. Works for what I thought it would. There we go. But wait, now those are upside down. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think of that. Well, I can cover them. It's not a big deal. It's funny. It's funny when this happens. Yeah. I think I'm going to take one side of these and glue it on that. So I will be right back. Just hang on with me. Okay, I fixed it. It's as if nothing ever happened. I just simply cut one of these apart, the other extra pocket that I had apart, and cut where that thumb notch ends and all other 3 sides so that I could get 2 separate images. There we go. Now it's the way it's supposed to be, kind of. This, I mean, I could do like a belly band here, closed perhaps with, what's it called? A Velcro dot or something, so that those would stay put. Or I could put the Velcro dots here to keep them closed. But I don't think it really matters because this flap folds first on top of them before the other flap does. So there we go. Let's see, I'm going to just take these journal cards and put them inside of these pockets, which is a perfect fit. There we go. Something works finally for me. So we have those 2 pockets done. Now let's go to the envelopes. With these, you have 2 options. No matter what you decide, first you have to fold these flaps. I have also inked them, as you can probably tell. So, a traditional envelope is like this. And that is what I'm going to do with this one. Now let's try to figure out where we need the glue to go. So I'm going to put some glue on, let's see, from there on these small flaps. And then I'm going to go and put some glue on the corner of this longer flap. I hope I don't glue it shut. There we go. I did some light inking on the flap as well, so that it looks worn. If you would have printed this double-sided, you wouldn't have to cover anything. You can also put another piece of paper in there and glue it down to cover it. You could stamp on it, you could stencil on it. Options are limited, but the white doesn't really bother me that much. So let's put this envelope, or actually let's first take one of the journal cards and put it in. There are also plenty of ephemera in the kit that you could decorate things with, these. But because, or fussy cuts, not ephemera, fussy cuts. But I'm not going to do that in this video because I want to keep it a little bit shorter. Let's see if I can put this in. It's a tight fit. It goes. Yay! There we go. That's the first one. And then the second one. Let's see. This I'm going to use as a coin pocket. So, should I put that down actually? No, I'm going to glue it on top. I'm going to put glue on the flap that I want on the top. There we go. And then I'm going to put some glue on this flap right in here. And then close it. Hopefully not gluing it shut. Here I'm going to put glue on the colorful part first, and then around the flap. I hope I'm in frame. I somewhat am. That's good. There we go. And then I'm also going to spread glue, but on the flap, but I'm avoiding the bottom part of it, or top part, however you want to put it, so that I won't get glue on that little area right there. So that's the second envelope done. I think these long ones are fun as well. I'm going to add some ink in there, and now let's put a journal card there. And this goes to the long pocket here on the side. So that's it. I still have, oops, scraps are piling up. I still have 2 of these journal cards that I can put in here. And I think I'm going to stick, actually I think I put them both in here. Let's see. It's a little bit tight that way, but I can just put these in here so that they get completely covered. There we go. Now all we need is the closure, and Elizabeth included these pieces in the kit, and I think I'm going to use one of them, but which one? That is the problem. These are also pretty. I don't know what I want. I think I'm going to go with the rose version, or the quilted version right here. But I'm going to, I think if I was like really smart, I would take a piece of cardstock and put it on that. But because all the odds are against me being smart today, I'm going to take just a random piece of a little bit sturdier coffee dyed paper. And then I'm going to cut it somewhat bigger than my closing piece is. There we go. Probably didn't cut that perfectly straight, but that's perfectly fine. Then what I'm going to do, excuse me for the reach, is I'm going to figure out how, not that, I think that is closer to the truth, so I'm going to use the 7mm corner rounder just to round the corners. That's what people usually use the corner rounder for, I assume. I think it's funny when things go wrong, like with the pockets, all you can really do after that point is laugh at yourself. No need to take things too seriously anyway. It's just crafting, and it's just paper. Pretty paper, but it's just paper. There we go. I'm going to spread some glue again and put it on the bigger piece. There we go. That's our closure. Now what I need is Velcro dot, and luckily I could find mine. Let's take one of them out like that. These are really small ones, but I think that's okay. Then what I will do, I think, is I'm going to take just a round object and just work it in a little bit. There we go. Just to round it. This is a crochet hook. Bigger one, that is. Then I am going to put this on the back side. I don't know, some prats would be really nice in here, but I don't have any prats on hand right now. Or more like, I'm still trying to keep this short desperately, so there we go. I'm going to guesstimate where the about central part is. It doesn't even have to be on the center if you don't want to. That's also an option to put it somewhere. Am I putting this? I think I was putting it upside down. That would have been fun. There we go. So now I'm just going to put some glue on the flap. There we go. And close it. Trying to get it straight. Straight is always a little bit tricky for me. Then what I will do is I'm going to take one of the covers for the Velcro dots off. If it wants to come off, there we go. Let's put it on here. Press it down well. Then I'm making sure that my folio is lined up so that it's not like this or anything. I want to make sure that it's properly closed and lining up, and keeping it that way with my hand here. Then I'm taking the other backing piece off. I'm leaving some room. I'm not wrapping it like really tightly in here so that I can add things inside if I want to. That way it's a little bit more forgiving. And then I'm going to press it down. There we go. And let's see if I can open it. I can! Yay, it works! Okay, so let's take a look what I made with this beautiful, beautiful folio kit by Petals and Parchment. Here's the first opening with a pocket and another pocket. Here we have two more pockets and the final side pocket here. I hope you enjoyed watching me making this beautiful creation. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a kind comment to save my self-esteem after all these mess ups. If you have time for it, it's always much appreciated. If you would like more content like this, please go check out my channel and consider subscribing to it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.